Reminder, please silence all cell phones. Welcome to tonight's press conference for the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford's sports information director is Wilder Treadway. Tonight we're joined by student athletes Haley Jones and Cameron Brink and head coach Tara Vanderveer. Coach Vanderveer, would you like to make an opening statement?
You know, I thought our team really battled in the second half. We kind of dug ourselves a hole, but, you know, we battled back. We tied it up, and we had an opportunity to win the game. I think Mississippi is, they're a very experienced and they're a very determined team, and, you know, they made plays down the stretch that we didn't make. You know, having said that, I'm really proud of how our team battled, and you know, just both Cam and Haley made big plays for us, and Cam's, I think, made all of her free throws. I didn't see a stat sheet, but you know, she was just a workhorse in there, and it was very physical. We tried to, I think our team worked very hard to do the best we could today, and I'm very proud of our team, and just, you know, really sad that our season is over.
We'll now take questions for the student athletes. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call with us and you have a question there, please use the raise hand function, and I'll call on you if we have time for your questions.
All right, Michael Robertson, African-American athlete. So Haley, how depressing is this? And this is your last time here on this court, so what's going through your mind right now?
I mean, it's not the way that I wanted my senior year to end. I think it's disappointing. I wouldn't say depressing, I would say disappointing. I think it's tough when you lose a game when you feel like as a team it just wasn't your best all-around game, right? I think, you know, they were aggressive. I think we matched their aggressiveness. I think, like Tara said, we dug ourselves a hole. I was proud of the way that our team stuck together. I think that we made big plays down the stretch. It just didn't end up in our favor. But, yeah, I mean, it's disappointing for my 4 years at Stanford to come to a close in this fashion. It's not where we wanted to go. I think that this team had the capability to go all the way, and sometimes it just doesn't end that way, which is very frustrating to deal with. I think it hasn't really hit me yet. I don't know. I told Ash in the locker room I think I'm in shock, so I don't know when that'll hit, but, you know, it's disappointing, but there's still things to be proud of this season, but, yeah, I don't really have much to say.
Shel Smith, Pac12.com. Cam, how did you feel tonight coming off of not playing the other night, and then did you feel strong through the entire game?
I think I felt sick. I think I'm still pretty, just, you know, getting back to my normal self, but yeah, I definitely got a little winded throughout the game, but I tried my best, so yeah.
Alex Simon from Bay Area News Group. It seemed like Ole Miss's ability to contest shots inside made even the simplest of layups really difficult for you guys. Can you both speak to kind of what they were able to do to make life so difficult at scoring in the paint tonight?
I think Ole Miss is a great defensive team, and we've heard them say that they pride themselves on their defense. They packed in their suitcase, so they were going to come in and execute that plan. I think they did a great job, but I think it's not all Ole Miss. I think we missed a lot of bunnies. I think we missed shots that we usually finish. I'm at fault for that as well. I missed a few bunnies that I want back, the shots that I usually make. But, you know, I think that Ole Miss did a great job, and, you know, they were contesting shots in a great way, but we missed a lot of shots that we usually make, which is disappointing, but, you know, you can't really blame it, so yeah.
Haley, Ann Killian with the San Francisco Chronicle. Could you just take us through those last two possessions or two inbounds plays that ended up both being turnovers?
Take you through it, how?
Just what happened? They were happening on the other side of the court from where we were seeing. You just lose the ball out of bounds on the last one, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't executed. Inbounded it to Hannah. She was pressured. And then on the last one, I tried to throw a lob to the weak side, but I guess I didn't throw it high enough. I'm not sure.
Haley, did you feel like you guys had, you know, there was conversations about the couple of losses in a row, the Utah, and then obviously it wasn't in a row, but and then the Pac-12 tournament loss, and just you guys being tired and needing time to get rest. Did you feel like this was a rested team heading into this weekend? Did you guys feel good energy-wise?
Yeah, I think we felt fine. I think, being tired isn't really like an excuse that you can use. Like, you can, but it's also you got to show up for the game. And I think that we showed up with energy today. It just didn't end in our favor. And I think that it wasn't energy that it was tonight. I think Ole Miss executed their game plan very well. I think that our defense was fine. They only ended up with 54 points, so it's not like they were just scoring. I think it was more so we weren't executing our offense. For us to score 7 points in a quarter is almost unheard of for the team that we have. So, I think we felt rested. I think we just didn't rise to the occasion as we wish that we did.
Cameron, you guys were down 8 with about 6 minutes to go, and you kept them scoreless almost up until those last free throws there and pushed it back to tie it. I guess as you guys are making that push, did you feel like you guys were going to come back and win the game?
Yeah, of course. I didn't think we were going to lose, but we did. So, but yeah, of course I thought we were going to win. So.
A quick reminder that the locker room is also open at this time.
Ben Parker, CardinalSportSports.com. They out-rebounded you guys. This is for Cam. They out-rebounded you guys by 5. You did your end with 13 rebounds, so you rebounded well tonight. But just talk about just what they were doing well inside to out-rebound you guys. That's usually a strength of yours.
I think they were just more physical than us, plain and simple.
Let's take a question on Zoom, Gabriella.
Gabriella Lewis, the next. Haley, I was just hoping you could reflect on your time at Stanford, 4 incredible years. And I know this isn't the way you wanted to end, but what's it meant to have this team and to also end with a crowd like this tonight?
My time at Stanford has been interesting, I guess. COVID, freshman year, that played a lot into a lot of different things. And then the COVID season, that's unheard of. Like, I never expected that to be my part of my college experience. So then winning a national championship, 3 Pac-12 championships, 2 Pac-12 tournament championships. So, I have a lot to be proud of from my Stanford career. It's hard to feel that way right now, but I know that at some point that'll hit and sink in. But yeah, I'm proud of my time at Stanford. I'm very happy with the relationships that I've made that are going to carry on past my playing days here. I've made a lot of great friendships. So yeah, I think my time at Stanford, I have a lot to be proud of.
Cameron, obviously, you guys knew that this run was the end, but to have this group that you won a national championship with kind of have their careers come to an end, can you speak to what they mean to you with that Funky Four quartet?
Yeah, the Funky Four, they were, some of my closest friends my freshman year, and then they've taught me everything I know pretty much. They help me figure out the plays and whatever we're doing. So, it's going to be really weird not having them by my side. And, I still feel like a kid, honestly, so I'm going to really miss all of them telling me what to do and encouraging me and telling me to calm down and all that stuff. But, they're just amazing. And I think I'm like Haley, I'm still in shock, still processing that. That was my last game with all of them. So, yeah.
Any more questions for the student athletes? One over here.
Kurt Streeter from the New York Times. Losses like this are really rare in the first 2 rounds. What does this say about the depth of the women's game? Does it speak to that? I'm sorry. Well, Haley, or either one of you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the women's tournament was very deep this year, deeper than it was last year, which is great to see for the growth of the women's game. We hate to be the ones for it to happen to us, which is leaves a fat, sore taste in the mouth. But, it says a lot for women's basketball to have an 8 seed like Ole Miss, for them to be as talented as they are. They beat a very talented Gonzaga team. The other day, Iowa State lost to a very talented team as well in Toledo. So I think there's just a lot of depth throughout the tournament, and we knew it was going to be like this. So yeah, it's definitely great growth for the women's game. It just sucks that we have to be on the other side of it.
Question for Cam, since you're going to be back next year. Obviously, you guys are going to want to turn lemons into lemonade from this. Just what kind of lessons do you think you guys can learn from this tournament not going the way that it did, and motivating you guys for a deeper, stronger run next year?
I don't know. I think I would just, I feel like I'm a senior next year, which is weird, but, got to bring that leadership and just tell the freshmen and the underclassmen that nothing's guaranteed. We can't be soft. We have to always play with a chip on our shoulders and just be gritty. And I feel like we were lacking some of that this year. So always room to improve.
Haley, Cameron, thank you. You may now rejoin your teammates in the locker room. We'll now take questions for Coach Vanderveer. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and you have a question, please use the raise hand function, and I'll call on you if we have time for your questions. Up front.
All right, Michael Robertson, African-American athlete. So, Coach, 30% for them shooting for the game, you guys were like 32, 33%. How do you explain that, that a game comes against you guys, even though they shot a less percentage than you guys did from the field?
Well, I think that, we struggled offensively, and I think that I give them credit for working hard defensively, but I think some of the things that we did were self-inflicted. Some of the turnovers, I think the turnovers really hurt us, just times where, the ball just slipped out of people's hands or, just making some, poor decisions. But our turnovers hurt us. They got on the boards, but not, there were some long rebounds that then they got some second shots. I just think that sometimes, this is, I think they're really a tough team. I think they're much better than a lot of 8 teams that we've played before. And sometimes you just don't have a really good matchup, for them. I think for us, with 2 freshman guards, basically Talana and India, playing against their experience and their athleticism, I thought they did really well. But we needed to play better.
Marissa and Jemmy, San Francisco Chronicle. Haley and Cam both mentioned just the feeling of shock, kind of, and you haven't had a team lose this early in the playoffs in over a decade. So for you, just emotionally, how are you processing this feeling?
I think that this last month has been really hard, and it's. I do think that we try to rest our team as much as possible. But we needed to be playing better than we are right now. I think our offense really struggled. And when that happens, then people try to do it by themselves. And I saw that, throughout the whole game. The ability, even if you're not shooting well, just keep moving the ball, just not feeling like you have to do it by yourselves. And I think both Cam and Haley felt like I have to do it by myself. And that's, I think that's on me. We've worked really hard every day to, run offense, move the ball, set screens, and we struggled with it. Part of it, just is, again, trying to fit the right people out there together. We didn't get the ball to Cam when we needed to. I think early, especially in the first half, we had some real bad passes, and then people did struggle on the block. It was very physical.
Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. Just, you kind of touched on it with Talana and India, but just how much of a learning experience, how good of a learning experience is this for them as freshman guards to have this experience, and just talk about what you expect to see from them going forward next year, and just kind of the growth that can come from this experience for these two young freshmen.
Someone, Talana was guarding, let me look, 15. Angel Bakler has scored over 2,000 points, and she's 5 for 18. I think Talana did a phenomenal job defensively. She works really hard. And India was out there. Again, our defense was not the problem. I thought, defensively, if you hold a team to 54 points, they weren't getting in transition. We did put them at the free throw line a little bit too much. But I just think we struggled offensively. And we did get some O boards. Cam sometimes, got O boards. Sometimes it was her own shot right in there. But, we struggled. We had good shots and at the basket, Cam and Haley both, and we didn't finish the way we want to or need to. And it is disappointing. I think it was a great experience for our freshmen, for Talana, for India, for Lauren Betts to be out there. I thought Fran gave us some real good minutes, but we needed to take care of the basketball better. We needed to have some flow to what we're doing and finish at the rim.
Tara, why do you think the last month and a half was so hard? What was was it a specific loss where you think that maybe there was a loss of confidence in what you guys were doing, but what made it such a grind this last
I really think the traveling, I personally feel like the schedule of playing, basically 4 weekends, 2 in a row, Mondays, Thursdays, I think the schedule really put us in a hole that this team, maybe other Stanford teams that maybe have more experience or, are further along in their development. But this, and we had the problem in Colorado with our flight, and the competition in the conference is great, but we did not do what, and I think in our team meeting, like people said, it's harder than they thought it was or remembered it. You go 18-0, you win the Pac-12 tournament, then you forget how hard that really was. But I think that we have a lot coming back. As far as this is great for Lauren, for Cam. Cam wasn't 100% today, but I thought she really battled. But we need to build on the good things that we did and really look and identify how we can do better offensively. We really struggled moving the ball, sharing the ball, getting the shots. We did get some really good shots and missed them, but even getting better shots.
Matthew Walter with the next right here, Tara. Just to sort of follow up on that question and some of the things you said, your offense today wasn't very good, and it seemed like at times this year, offensively, you guys really struggled just to space the floor and make things easy for your whole team. What do you look at? Was there some point this year where that changed and you just felt like the offense was more difficult? And what do you need to look at in the offseason to make some more open space for your team?
Well, I think that, we have a great inside game with Cam on the block, and I think Cam can be more versatile. And I think with Lauren, I think that, we struggled with perimeter shooting and, maybe shot selection. But I think it's just really, there's some young people that were thrown right into the deep end of the pool. Talana. Even Agnes, who's a young player, she's, older, but I'm really proud of how hard our young players worked and the contributions they made, but it's a lot harder than people think when they watch it. So we have a lot of work to do.
All right, Coach, do you put any credence into when you guys won the championship, you were going through all kind of adversity, you guys were nomads, everything was going on, it was really a wild circumstance. And then last year, a little bit closer to normal, but you lose in the Final Four.
Right.
This year you lose in the second round. So do you see any differences in what was going on around you when you guys won it all and as up to now?
Well, I think it's, I'm not going to fall into the trap of saying, wow, we had a horrible season. I know that our men's team would be ecstatic to be playing, 2 games in the NCAA tournament, and Bernard would be happy about that too. This is a very young backcourt, and I think that, when we had Lexi and Lacey and Anna Wilson, we had a lot of experience, and tournament wins are about your backcourt. They're about your ability to run offense and the leadership that comes from those positions. And so, I think we did really well. And I think that part of the stuff for this team is because people scheme so much, we have to shoot the ball better. We have to pass the ball better. Our defense was, all year, I think our defense has been phenomenal. And that's effort, and Talana has been a warrior for us. And she's thrilled with her progress. She had a bad pass tonight, maybe, missed some open shots, but she will just get better and better. Same thing with India. Hannah Jump has never been a starter for us, and she made some big shots for us all year long. There were some turnovers that, we would like to have back. Cam inside, so it's, but trying to figure out, like, kind of how to get a head start on it a little bit. The backcourt, when you lose the experience of, like in this game last year, Lexi had 36 points. It wasn't an easy game. I think it was like a tie game at halftime or something, but, we needed that kind of just, hey, put the team on my back. And people tried, but, it was a struggle.
Just kind of going back to Cameron Brink, just talk about, obviously losing game here, but for her to put up 20 points, 13 rebounds, 7 blocks, coming off of an illness, just what does that say about her and the kind of player she is? And
she's a battler. She's a battler. It was extremely physical in there. There were, she just was going up through hands, arms, bodies. I'm proud of Cam, and I love coaching Cam. She plays hard. And that was, it's tough. But again, some of it, I think, she did the best she could today. And I don't think we could ask much more from her.
Let's take a question from Zoom. Alexa, go ahead.
Hi, Tara. Congratulations on a great season. We've heard you, and we've also heard Cam even just now talk about the grit and toughness. Cam said, that maybe that grit was lacking this season compared to other teams that she was part of. I'm just curious, moving forward, how do you as a coaching staff try and go about getting that grit to kind of be more present and getting that toughness to come out? And is that something that needs to come from the players, or how do you as a coaching staff, try to go about that?
Well, in some ways, I think she might be confusing grit with experience. I don't think you could ask for a more gritty player than Talana or India, or Agnes. But they don't have the experience that a Lexi had, or a Lacey had, or an Anna Wilson had. Talana, honestly, is light years ahead of Anna Wilson in terms of where she's at right now compared to where Anna was. But, Anna had that time to grow and develop. So are there things that we can learn? I definitely think so. But a lot of it is, sometimes you have to go through different steps, and this is a team that we did struggle down the stretch, and we have to address that with our team and figure out why.
We'll take one more.
Alex Simon from Bay Area News Group. Obviously, you've had players, you mentioned Anna, who have used the COVID extra year of eligibility. Obviously, it's up to each player to make their own decision in that way. Would you welcome any of the seniors back if they wanted to return?
I think that they've made some decisions. Hannah Jump is planning to come back. So we're excited about that. When I always meet the 4 seniors before every game, and I just said, hey, here, this is your last game in Maples, and she goes, well, not for me, but and I knew that, but we're excited that she'll be coming back. Ashton already has her master's degree, and she wants to play professionally. Haley wants to play professionally, and I think Fran has been accepted in a program at Harvard, and will plan. I'm not sure she gets to play there, but if there was another program for her, I would love to have her come back. But she's been accepted there, and I believe she's going to go there next year.
Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you all very much.
We'll have a short break, and Ole Miss will be here momentarily. Welcome to tonight's press conference for the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss's sports information director is Madeline Marshall. Tonight we're joined by head coach Yolette McKee-McEwen and student athletes Angel Baker and Madison Scott. Coach McKee-McEwen, your opening statement.
First of all, just incredibly grateful. I have a lot of mentors in my life, and one of my mentors would always say to me that the person with the experience is at the mercy of the one with the anointing. And he spoke that over my life maybe like 10 years ago. And so to be in this situation right now, to take down an historical program like Stanford, a coach and a woman that I admire and I've watched is incredible. And I'm incredibly grateful to be in this position and look forward to, I told my team, like, I just love them so much. I don't want to stop having this feeling. So who knows, maybe we end up in Dallas. But right now, at least we know we punched our ticket to Sweet 16. So grateful.
We'll now take questions for the student athletes. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and you have a question there, please use the raise hand function, and I will call on you if we have time for your questions. First one here's up front.
Okay. Michael Robertson, African-American athlete. So Madison or Angel, when you guys took the court, you went up against as she said, historically great team, and a team that was hoping to get back to the Final Four. So you guys led the entire time and only had 3 ties, never lost the lead. So what gave you guys that much confidence?
To start off, just walking in, knowing who we are. We've been battle tested all year. We've fallen short. And it was finally our time to step into that moment and come out on top. I feel like we walked in with confidence and we knew who we were from the jump.
What she said, our God is so good, and he's been with us every step of the way. When he's with us, we know we won't fail. So today we came out and we were together for 40 minutes and we came out with the W. So we're just grateful, and like Coach O said, we're gonna keep going.
Matthew Walter from The Next. You guys talked about you pack your defense. And even Stanford admitted they knew you guys said that you pack your defense. And you lose that lead in the fourth quarter. It's tie game. You force 3 straight turnovers on 3 straight possessions. Just talk about trusting that defensive mentality, even when Stanford made that run to cut it, to tie the game, and you could have easily just let it go, but you kept playing hard on the defensive end and forcing those turnovers that really clinched the game for you guys.
We defend, to say the least. I feel like we had great leadership in Maya Taylor, but we defend, and we was confident having to go down and defend and get some stops.
Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. First of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, big time for you guys. Just talk about one of the things you guys, both of you collectively did really well, was you guys knocked down your free throws. Just talk about what the key is to making free throws. A, just in the NCAA tournament with the pressure of that, and then B, in a hostile road environment. Just what's the key to maintaining your composure and knocking those down?
Well, first, Coach told us from the jump, we had to knock down our free throws. We may not get many of them, but she told us when we got to the line to, be composed and knock them down. That's key on the road. An environment like this, the fans going crazy. We wanted to win. We didn't want to go home, so we wanted to make sure that we knocked down our free throws, dialed in. And it's just the work that we've been putting in. Before we left, we were in Oxford. We were shooting free throws every day, before practice, after practice. The work shows. So it's just a testament to how hard we work, and yeah.
A quick reminder that the Ole Miss locker room is still open at this time.
Cheryl Coward, WhoFeet.com. For the players, this is not just a historic moment in terms of women's basketball, but for the state of Mississippi as well, given the history of Ole Miss. You have a black female coach. I mean, even at, just 40 years ago, some of these things were unheard of because of all the things that have gone on in the South. What does it mean for you to have a leader like this, a black woman leader, in a place where you couldn't even walk on campus in my lifetime, not yours?
Well, it means a lot. One of the reasons why I came to Ole Miss is because I wanted to be under a coach that looked like me. I feel like Coach Yo really just is a believer, a fighter, and that's who somebody I want to represent. We try our best to resemble her on the court with a lot of passion, just toughness. So it means a lot. I feel like she had done a great job with this program, and I'm proud of you, Coach.
Let's take some questions from Zoom. Let's start with David. David, go ahead.
Can I respond to that question?
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna start with saying I love you, Coach. She pushes us every single day, to be great. Like Angel said, her toughness, her resilience, everything that Coach Yo has been through and goes through, and she always comes out on top. That's what she's instilled in her players. She lets us know every day, don't give up, don't stop. Even in a game like today, when nobody thought we could play in this game with Stanford, nobody thought we could win, but she believed in us, and she instilled that in us. So we went out there, and having a coach that believes in you, and pushes you to be great every single day, we went out there and gave it everything we had, for her, for us, for all the hard work that we put in. So to answer your question, it's amazing to be coached by a woman like Coach Yo. This is just the beginning. She's not done, and I'm excited to be here and just excited for the opportunity to be coached by her.
Okay, David, go ahead.
Sorry, David.
For David Eckert, the Clarion Ledger. For both of y'all, you've been so close to this kind of win a couple of times this year. Did LSU and South Carolina, did that pop into your head at all down the stretch where, maybe you're in a timeout huddle or whatever? Were you thinking about those experiences at all and what you could bring from those?
Definitely. We fell short a lot of games this year that we felt like we should have won. We didn't play, Ole Miss women's basketball for 40 minutes, so that was our goal coming in. We wanted to be tough and be together for the entire 40 minutes, and play defense at a high level, communicate at a high level, and do what we came here to do, get a win. So definitely those games, falling short, it hurt in the moment, but ultimately it prepared us for this moment. We finally closed out a game, and we're just hungry for more. We're hungry to keep playing some games.
Let's go back to Zoom. Gabriella. Gabriella, go ahead.
Gabriella Lewis, the next. Y'all touched on this a little bit, and Coach said this on the broadcast at the end, but there were moments there at the end where, maybe you hadn't been there before and Maya was really encouraging the team and you ended up executing on defense so hard. So can you just walk me through those final minutes and also, what Maya maybe said?
Maya is a great leader. In those closing minutes, she was just saying it's not over until the buzzer is off. But she also in the huddle, she was just telling us to stay together. And I feel like she played a major role. She might not have scored the most points or whatever, but her leadership was superior, like literally. And I don't think we could have did it without her.
We'll take one more from Zoom and then perhaps we'll have one more here in the room. Michael. Michael, go ahead.
Hey, Madison. Michael Katz from the Daily Journal. You and Snow both committed to this program when they were coming off an 0-16 SEC moment. What SEC record? What is this moment like for you? You got the opportunity to hit free throws that put you guys ahead. What is it like seeing that your belief in Yo and this program paid off?
The feeling I'm feeling right now, is indescribable. All I can say is I'm just so happy. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. I'm just happy to be an Ole Miss Rebel. This is what I came here for. This is what me and Snutter came here for moments like this. Each year, I've said it before, we continue to get better and better, under the leadership of Coach Yo. We have amazing scorers like AB, that come and join us, and so forth and so forth. Like, we've come a long way, and I'm just so happy. That's all I can say. I'm just so happy. And again, I keep saying it because, I believe it. We all believe it. We're not done. There's still more work to be done. So, let's do it.
Take one or two more here in the room for the student athletes.
Ben Parker, CardinalSports.com. You guys held them to 2 of 7 shooting from three-point range. Just what was the key to your perimeter defense and locking in on that side of things?
I feel like I keep repeating myself. I'm sorry. Well, we just take pride on the defensive end. We definitely dictate and we disrupt. We knew that they were going to try to get some threes off, so we just try to lock in on that and make it a hard time for them.
Okay, Madison, Angel, thank you. You're free to rejoin your teammates in the locker room. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
We'll take questions now for Coach McKee-McEwen. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and have a question, please use the raise hand function, and I'll call on you if we have time for your questions. Let's start here up front.
Okay, Coach. Michael Robertson, African-American athlete. So the shooting, 30% for you guys and like 32, 33 for them. How do you win a game like that against a team of this ilk? And what was the feeling that went through your mind, knowing that how much you respect Tara when the buzzer went off?
It was an incredible amount of emotion for me, I'll tell you that. Immediately, I was just overwhelmed with gratitude and just hugged my staff because we put in so much work, you know. Our players show up and they do the job and they execute the game plan, but my coaches and my support staff, like we burn the midnight oil. And so it was just an incredible amount of emotion. As far as us not shooting well, we knew that Stanford's size and length would be a little problematic for us. But we also know that we defend. And that's why we can't explain it. Like people, you know, I know a lot of people talk about, oh, Ole Miss is aggressive, but they don't give enough credit to how disciplined we are defensively, especially when we lock in. And honestly, when I realized that we had to get a stop to win the game, I had far more peace than having to score on the other end to win the game, because that's who we are. So we've won tons of games by having to get a stop, and our team just felt like we could do it.
Coach, right here, Matthew Walter with the Next. I want to ask you about your journey, right? You started your career as a community college player, spent a lot of time as an assistant coach, then you go to Jacksonville, a small school in the Atlantic Sun. Just how much did all of that prepare you for this moment and this game to coach against Tara and win this kind of game to get yourself to the Sweet 16 for the first time for your program in 15 plus years?
If I'm on Twitter, I'm active on Twitter. And let me tell you how, like, my faith works. This morning when I woke up, I drafted the tweet I was going to tweet after the end of the game, because I knew I would be full of emotion and I needed to get my thoughts together. In the tweet, it states that my parents, Carl Semesco, the head coach at Florida Gulf Coast, Lynn Bria, the head coach at Stetson, Jose Fernandez, the head coach at South Florida, and all of the Southeastern coaches, my husband, have prepared me for this moment. And that was on my heart. And so my whole journey, I tell people, I always use like basketball analogies. And I say, for my life, y'all, I never get a wide open layup. I always have to do a pro hop or a Euro step to score in life. It's just been my journey. And so anytime it's easy, it's a setup for failure, you know? So, but I'm a learner, I'm a student. And every stop I've learned something, from Frank Phillips Community College to Miami-Dade. Shout out to Susan Summons, who taught me how to put belief into her players. To, Bo Pearman, that was incredibly tough as a coach, so taught me how to be resilient. The list goes on and on of people that have impacted my life. and that are responsible for me being right here, right now.
Quick reminder that the Ole Miss locker room closes at 5 after the hour.
Hi, Yolette. Janie McCauley from
Janie.
AP. Yeah. Following up on that, I mean, I spent some time with your girls and your parents before tip-off, and you ran out, your team came out on the court, and Yasmin said, "That's my mom." And they were dancing, and the example you talked about yesterday, wanting to be the future of women's basketball and a future for these kids are seeing, and your dad's fighting tears. I mean, just how much does that mean to you to be showing your young daughters that, hey, this is what you can do when you chase your dreams?
Well, you really can't be what you can't see. And I really believe that. And so my daughters are learning how to be strong and go after dreams, but also how to be, a wife, and how to balance. I cry in front of my kids. Had we lost, my 10-year-old would have cried tonight. My 5-year-old is just living the dream right now. But my 10-year-old, she would have been an emotional wreck. And everybody asks me where I get my passion from. And I'll tell this story over and over again. My dad lost in a championship game. The gym cleared out, and he cried. And I was Yasmin's age, my 10-year-old's age. And I remember walking over and crying with him. That's when I learned passion and love for the game. And so my daughter is the same way. And I don't care if she doesn't coach, but what she is learning, what they are learning, is let's normalize women in leadership. They're watching my players. They're seeing Coach Chris, Coach Boyan, Coach P treat me in a respectful manner. I mean, it's just really good society work, you know what I mean? Because really that's how it should be, where we all love and respect each other. And so I wouldn't want to do this without them being here, Lil Chris being here. In our gym is little kids running all over the place. So they're all getting a chance to see us do something special. My dad? Yeah, and then he talked all that smack, talking about he don't cry because he don't lose a lot. But, yeah, my parents are here, super emotional.
Kurt Streeter from the New York Times. Quick two-parter, actually. I couldn't quite tell. Were you crying after the game?
Yeah, shoot, I was a mess. Joy, tears of joy, tears of just humility, like, come on, everyone had a dream coming up. And when you're coaching, I'm a dreamer, and I try to be a dream merchant for my players. But, like, how cool is it to take down someone that you admire? Like, that was pretty freaking cool. Because I admire Tara, so I'll never forget this.
Second little question here. This kind of upset does not happen often in the women's game. What does this say about the depth, the growing depth in your game?
It says a lot, and you're so right, and that's what I was telling the team. I said, fairly, FDU went and beat Purdue. Like, we got to normalize that for the women's game. And I said, a lot of times, women, this doesn't happen because as females, we're taught to hone it in. You know what I'm saying? Because I get attacked all the time. Oh, I'm too bold. I'm too bracing. I'm too this. I'm too that. But the coach from Fairleigh Dickinson said on TV that he was going to beat Purdue, and they did it. And so we need to normalize women being competitive and having dreams and goals and wanting to win. You get what I'm saying? And so I think this is good for the game. The Southeastern Conference is full of personalities, and we want to fit right into that, So, and I know that one of my staff members asked you what you were doing here, and I'm telling you, we speak things into existence. So I'm looking forward to seeing that right up.
Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to hear your story and everything. Just as a coach, what's the key to keeping obviously this is a huge, monumental win and a lot of emotion and everything, but how do you find a way to find an appropriate place for that emotion, but still keep your team locked in and focused that, hey, we're not done yet, and how do you not get too high from this as you head into Seattle, is my question.
Yeah, well, we'll have tomorrow off, and I'm a right now type person because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we about to party like it's 1999 tonight. And then tomorrow we'll party again. And then we'll all watch Texas and Louisville together to see who we're going to play. And then we'll get right back to work. When we win, we party. And then we let it go. And so I think they deserve that. And honestly, I really felt like if we could get over this hump, beating the number one team. We've faced the number one team in the country and come up short. And I felt like if we could get over this, boy, it's no telling what we can do. So we're going to be ready to roll. We want to keep winning because we know if we lose, we go home. So, I got to get an email together for my kids, send it to their principals, and say, see you when I see you, because we're going to Seattle.
We'll take another one here in the room and then try to get a few of these Zoom questions in. So go ahead.
I got all night.
Cheryl Coward, hoopbeat.com. Congrats, Coach. You may have
Thank
to
you.
explain that 1999 reference to your players. They weren't born yet. I talked to the bus drivers that drove you all around all week, the 3 bus drivers. And then Jonquil Jones is on Twitter already dancing.
That's my girl.
And it seems like everywhere you go, you kind of have these people following behind you, kind of like the Pied Piper of Hamelin. If you know that story. What is it about your personality that attracts people like that, and how is that kind of dovetailed into your coaching style?
Well, I think everyone loves a story that they can relate to. I didn't play on Team USA. I didn't play for the great late Pat Summitt. Gino didn't endorse me. You know what I'm saying? Like I really got it out the mud. Y'all, I'm an immigrant. I migrated from the Bahamas and came over here and started at the junior college ranked and worked my way up. You know how I got this job at Ole Miss? I called Ole Miss and said, what are you guys doing? I'm hot. And y'all could get me for cheap. And I'm recruiting my butt off with a $20,000 recruiting budget. Give me yours and watch what I do. So I've always been bold. And I also share my story with a lot of people. Like I'm on social media. Like that's me tweeting. And so people feel like they can be a part of it. And so this is their journey because I let them in. And I think that's what makes it special. And then the Bahamian people, like we just love a lot. Like we're joyful people. Come on, we live on a beach, an island. Like what's to be upset about, And so we're just joyful people and we try to spread it. And then lastly, I'm a Christian, a person of faith. And one of the things that we have a lot of Christians on our team. And so they always challenge me. My Christian mentors tell me, people need to see God through you. And God is love, in my opinion. And my faith says that. So anybody who I touch, I want them to feel love. That's for another conversation.
Okay, let me try to get through a few of these Zoom questions. And by the way, a note to our audio folks, I've lost my internet connection. But I do remember, I believe we have John Sokoloff, if we can get him in.
Let's go, John.
Hey, yo, congrats. You kind of mentioned there the humility kind of deal that you felt right when, everything ended tonight. But, I mean, the last 4 years, there's been progress kind of each year with the program from the 0-16 SEC year to now, like you kind of mentioned. But knowing that all that kind of built up, keeping that in mind, what was that moment like right when kind of the buzzer sounded and everything started to at least like set in a little bit? Can you try to kind of encapsulate some of those emotions?
I mean, I just cried. 3 seconds left. My team was celebrating. I was looking at them like, lock in, focus. This thing can go anyway. But they just felt it. At the 16-second mark, they was like, it's over. And I was able to keep my composure, and when the buzzer sound, I just cried. Right before the game, I talked to a good friend of mine, and I said, what people don't know about me, y'all, like, I've won big games. I could remember from, like, even being a hooper in high school, winning big games. Beating Carl Semesco, they were the juggernauts. For 7 years, no one had beat Florida Gulf Coast at Florida Gulf Coast until Coach Yo showed up. No one had beat Jamaica in the CBC until my team beat Jamaica. I've won big games, So, and I just kept telling one of my friends, like, I'm due for a big game. And so this was cool. It was super cool.
Let's take Adam Brown. Adam, go ahead with your question.
Adam Brown, HighTech.com.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, congratulations. Can you talk about just the play of Thompson tonight and just how she was locked in with the 3 she had?
Which player are you talking about?
Thompson.
Oh my God. Our freshman. How about that? Our freshman is just stone cold, man. I would say something else, but I'm trying to keep it professional. Ayana is from DeSoto High School. They're champions. They're winners. And when we recruited her, we wanted to bring someone from a championship pedigree program. And she was just waiting for a moment, and we were really nervous before the NCAA tournament because she had twisted her ankle. She didn't even play in the SEC tournament. And when she looked at me and she said, Coach, I'm going to be playing, I played it cool, but I was jumping for joy because she was the X factor for us in both games. So really excited about her. Future's super bright.
Okay, we're up against it here time-wise, so just time for one more overall question. Let's go to David. David, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats.
Thanks,
I guess, you're talking about you felt like you were due for a big one. Was there a point where you could kind of identify, you've played outstanding teams this season already before, obviously. Was there a point where you could kind of say, this feels different, this feels like we might get this one while you were on the sidelines tonight?
Honestly, I felt that way as we were preparing for Stanford. This is going to sound funny, but I understand the legacies that Stanford holds. My players, the games are on so late, they rarely get to see Stanford. So they weren't intimidated. You get what I'm saying? On the Central Time, East Coast, we get to see those teams all the time. And so that there's an intimidating factor when you play a South Carolina, a Tennessee, a LSU. But Stanford's on the West Coast, so they don't really know how historic this program is. And so I didn't spend any ounce of any time trying to convince them that they could play with Stanford when they just took South Carolina in the overtime. So as they were prepping, they just locked in. They looked at me and they said, Coach, whatever you say, we're going to do. Team 48, man, wild group. Really happy for them.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Safe travels. Thank you all for attending tonight. Transcripts will be available shortly, and thank you for being here with us tonight.